Alrighty, CNT120, Chapter 4 Lab. We are moving on to Part 5 with IP version 4. And we want to use the ICMP version 4 traffic to examine our IP version 4 header. So we'll look at all those things version 4, if you will. So let's get our sniffer set up to capture. We want to capture ICMP traffic. And that is pretty much it. That'll be our mechanism to look at our IP header. So opening my sniffer, I'm going to clear. And in my filters, we're going to do IP version 4. And I want to make sure everything else is cleared off. There we go. So we should only have ICMP version 4. Now I'm going to close that for now, because what we need to do, we're going to set a static IP on the Harrisburg laptop, then a static IP on the Philadelphia laptop, and ping between them, because then we'll know exactly what those IP addresses are. So Harrisburg laptop, we'll come over here. Here's the Harrisburg laptop. Let's go to desktop IP config, static, 192.168.10.9, I believe is the IP address we're using. 10.9, default class C subnet mask, 10.1 for the gateway, 32 for DNS, 30.2. Yeah, there's our default class C subnet mask, 192.168.10.1 for the gateway, and 192.168.30.2 for DNS. Make sure all these numbers are correct. If need be, fix them. Look for the typos in there. I'm going to verify my command prompt, ipconfig, ipconfig, and I'm going to make sure my IP, subnet mask, and gateway look correct. 268.10.9, default subnet mask looks good. 10.1, all looks good. I'm going to repeat this process for the Philadelphia laptop. So command prompt here, I should say ipconfig here, 192.168.30.9, I believe is what we're using for the Philadelphia side. Yep, 30.9. Default C subnet mask, 192.168.30.1, 192.168.30.2. All right, I will close that and I will verify with my command prompt. And there's your 30.9, 30.1. Good. Now that I have that, we're going to issue a ping from the Philadelphia laptop to the Harrisburg laptop, and that'll generate some ICMP traffic for us to look at in the next step. So here, Philadelphia laptop. Let's open up command prompt again. We're going to do a ping, 192.168.10.9 as our Harrisburg laptop. If the first one or two time out, not a big deal. We just need to generate a little traffic. If we have like 2 timeout and you want more, just repeat it, and you should now get 3 or 4 successful this time through. As long as we get a couple, we just need a little bit. All right, I'm going to close that. We're going to look at the kind of like the next to last ICMP packet that's here. So let's open our sniffer, and I'll look down here at my next to last one. I'm going to highlight that guy, and let's make him wider. Again, if we look at our Ethernet header, destination address 90DA, I believe that's our Philadelphia laptop, I believe, and the A001, I believe, is our Harrisburg laptop. I believe that's what that one is. So there's our source and destination. The destination was Philly and coming back to Harrisburg here. If I look at my IP addresses, the source, 10.9, yep, there's our Harrisburg laptop. Destination 30.9. This is our Philadelphia laptop. Yep, that makes sense now. And what we want to look at is, let's look at our IP header fields. So here's our IP header fields. There's a bunch. So let's just kind of roll down through those real quick. Version, right here we see version 4 as an IP version 4. Initial header length lets us know kind of like where the header ends, and the data begins. These up here are our diff serve fields. This is your type of service field. This gets used for priority. Here's your total length of the IP packet. This is an ID field. If this packet gets fragmented, we can ID these, that all of these fragmented pieces get put back together into the original packet. So they can all get put back together. The flags get used if there is fragmentation. You let us know, hey, this is fragmented, etc. This is the beginning, this is the end. And then frog offset allows us to know kind of like first, middle, end, where this chunk of data would go. Here's your TTL. Every time this packet moves through a device like a router, it'll decrease by 1. Once it hits 0, it times out. So it's almost like an expiration time. If we look here, here's your protocol field. This lets us know what protocol is inside. In this case, it's ICMP. And then we have a checksum on our header. Again, when we send this and a calculation is done, the receiving end gets it. It does the same calculation. If those quantities equal, then we know the data is hopefully not corrupted. That's the idea behind that. Then we finally get to the header or the source IP and destination IP. Source IP 10.9 coming from Harrisburg, 30.9 going to Philly. So there is finally our source and destination IP address fields. So let's get those fields. So I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to highlight that so I have it. Let me open my text file here. And we want to add a part 5. This is IP version 4. This is my next to last ICMP packet. God bless you. And we want to do a source. We're going to copy this. And then we will paste it here. And then we're going to do a destination here. We'll highlight that guy right there, do a copy, and then we will paste that in. So we have our source field and our destination field. We'll save that. We're now going to look at the last packet, and we should hopefully see all these addresses flip. That's why we kind of picked the next to last and the last. We should hopefully see all these addresses flip. So this was coming from Harrisburg going to Philly. Well, let's look at the last one now. And let's see, it is Harrisburg going to Philly. I think that's what these last two are. I think they're the same. So I will go back one. Let me see if we have up here. Here we go. Here is, I'll actually go the other direction in this case, and that's fine if you need to do the same thing. We'll look at now we see 30.9 to 10. Source coming from Philly going back to Harrisburg. So we should see those switch around now. So if you have to do that, if you need to go up or down a packet, do that. That way you can see these numbers switch. So the destination is now Harrisburg. The source is now Philadelphia. Source is now Philadelphia. Destination is Harrisburg. That's what we want to see. So again, if you need to go up or down a packet to do that, feel free to do that. So now we'll look at our last, we'll just call it our last ICMP version 4 packet. And then I will copy here my source field. And then I will paste in my source field. And then I will paste in the destination field. And then we're seeing the come from Harrisburg to Philly, and then from Philly back to Harrisburg. That's what we're seeing. And that's basically what you get with ICMP. It's a request and a reply. A request, and then the reply comes back. Request and reply comes back. So there is our ICMP traffic, but more specifically looking at all of our IP version 4 headers. So let me close that guy. I'm going to save my text file. And then I'm going to save my packet tracer file. And before I'm done here, let's set our IP addresses back on both the laptops. So Harrisburg laptop, we're going to go here to ipconfig dynamic, let it pick up an IP. It'll be like 10.101, 102, something like that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the laptop here. We're going to pick up an IP dynamically. And we'll have a 30 dot, another high number up here. All right, we will close that out, and now I'll save there. So we will come back in the next part and look at the same type of thing, but with IP version 6.